Hi, all, and welcome to Monday night's All Metal Mode podcast with Gypsy, myself, Amanda Digger DeGaz, and we have no special guest tonight. Before we get started with tonight's show, a few reminders. July's issue of Dirt Digest magazine is available at dirtdigestmagazine.com. Just go there and click on current issue to check it out. Next up, have you checked out the forum at allmetalmode.com? Now is the chance to go and sign up and become part of the metal detecting conversations. Head on over to allmetalmode.com to get signed up. Now, on to the show. Hey, Gypsy, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. I'm glad we finally got this podcast rolling. Sorry, all. We were having some technical difficulties, but Amanda and Mike figured it out, and we are rolling.
Yes.
But I had a great week. How about you?
Yeah, the last 2 weeks have been pretty awesome. A lot of between metal detecting, mudlarking, and bottle dump digging, it's been great. How about yourself?
It's been great. I can't complain. Got out one day with my friend Zola and didn't find much. We did a lot of exploring, but it's just so hot right now that today I went to the river and got in the river. And let's see, it's been 2 weeks ago I went with my buddy Scott, and we got in the river then as well, just trying to keep cool in this heat. Today I think it got up to about 105, somewhere in there.
Whew.
So
that's
very hot.
That's horrible.
So how's the weather over there?
We are in the jungle. The humidity level has basically been meeting the temperature, so it's been, pretty miserable. I know that we've got some big storms rolling through, kind of ruined my plans today or this afternoon. Big thunderstorms and hail and craziness, and don't really like to be near the water while there's thunderstorms going on. So,
right. Oh boy. Yeah, got to be careful in this heat. But today it paid off. Getting in the river where I live. I live close to a major river where a lot of people do inner tubing. And right now, due to COVID, they are not renting the inner tubes, but what they are doing is allowing people to park. And if they bring their own inner tube, they can get in the water and float the river. And so my buddy Scott and I drove over there today, and it was like $20 to park. And it's quite pricey. It's not usually quite that expensive. Usually about $10 parking, maybe $15, depending on where you're at.
They're making up for the fact they can't rent the tubes.
Yeah, right. So a lot of them are closed down right now, but there's still, even today for a Monday, there were still quite a bit of people floating the river, and it's amazing what people lose out there in the river. Unfortunately, a lot of them, those little rapids, when they hit the rapids, they tip over, and so they lose all kinds of stuff. I've seen full adult beverages floating down the river.
Oh.
So, yeah, you name it, I've seen it floating down the river. Last time I was there 2 weeks ago, my buddy Scott and I ended up getting 2 rings. One I think is white gold, and the other is a tungsten. And then today I managed 3 rings. and I was super excited because one of them is gold. It's got
Yay.
yellow gold. Yeah, I haven't found a gold ring in forever. It has gold, yellow gold in the center all the way around the band, and then it's got white gold around the edges. And so I got one gold ring today. I got a tungsten ring, and I haven't tested the stones. It's got some ice on it. So it's got like the black all the way around, and then it's got like a white, I don't know, it could be titanium in the center. And then it's got like about 12 stones, tiny diamond-like stones in there. So I'm going to test them later with the diamond tester and see if there's some diamonds, if they're diamonds. It would be nice if it turned out to be diamonds. I hadn't found diamonds in quite a while.
Yeah, that's
And then, yeah, and then I got a honkin', it was my first ring, a honkin' silver ring. It is a James Avery ring, and it's made like a key. It's like a key that's wrapped around your finger. So it's got like a heart-shaped end to the end of the key, and then the key part that opens the door on the other end. So, yeah, 3 rings in one day, and then 2 weeks ago. So I'm going to combine that as a video. So, and lots of sunglasses,
very
I
nice.
can't tell you how many sunglasses we got. I gave one pair last week to my oldest son, and today I got probably 3 or 4 pair that are usable, and then the rest are, there's like a part they're scratched or, something, algae growing on them. Who knows if they'll clean up. But, what I was going to tell you is the last 2 weeks ago, we were leaving and out in the center on a rock. You could tell something like turquoise and black had floated over there, and my buddy Scott and I are like, it's probably a koozie, but I decided I was going to walk over there and see what it was. So I waded on out to the center of the river, and as I got closer, whatever it was vibrating on the wall, and on the rock in this where had landed. And so I walked over there. It turned out to be a little Bluetooth speaker. I got it home. I gave it to my youngest son, and he charged it, and he's using it. He was, in fact, using it when I got home and made me proud that, he's using something I found out of the river.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so
So,
you just never know what you'll find in the river. People, last time someone had lost their cell phone, and Scott and I looked for about 2 hours trying to find these people's cell phone. It had floated down the river further than where we were searching, where they thought that they had first lost it. So somebody else ended up finding it. And I did find one cell phone, but it was all cracked up and stuff. But it's always nice when you can find people's cell phones and things and be able to return them.
yeah,
What were you going to say?
the cell phones have been my big returns.
Yeah. Last year I found a cell phone in the river that still had cash in it, and it was freshly lost. And so I pressed this thing on there, and it dialed a number. It said lost phone. And I dialed the number and was able to get the guy. And I guess he didn't realize I was calling from his cell phone. And when I had to explain to him, yeah, I found your cell phone, he goes, what? You found my cell phone? And I had to explain to him, yeah, I'm actually calling you right now from your cell phone that I found in the river. So I just stuck it in the mail. I don't even remember how much cash he had stuffed in there, but it's some cash and stuff. But it's always nice when you can return the cell phones and the um, watches, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So how about you? Have you done much water hunting or?
I've done more. So the 4th of July weekend, I did a bunch of metal detecting up north in the mountains, and just parks, and a lot of areas were just really packed. So not something I'm used to where I live. So more or less, you know, went there later on or just try to stay away. So with the heat and humidity these past few days and last week, I've been doing more so mudlarking and bottle dump digging. So I've been doing a lot of that. I know, was it yesterday, Saturday? Just playing a little I Spy in the mudlark, and I found a skeleton key and a couple clay marbles and a bunch of really neat
Sweet.
bottles. And it's just crazy this where this dump is set up, and met up with my friend Lori, and we went there for a little bit on Saturday, and then I went back on Sunday to just check the area out and play a little bit more I Spy now that the tide had come in and gone out, to see what it might have cleared away. And I found an insulator that was really, really cool. It's like a
I
teal,
saw your
it's
photo.
like a
I
teal,
love the teal blue.
yeah. The picture doesn't do it justice because it really is the
Oh,
most breathtaking, like teal green blue. It's awesome. Um,
oh, wow.
a couple more marbles, and I've just been finding a lot of marbles and a lot of beads. So that's definitely, it's fun. It's not as strenuous. I'm not pouring sweat while metal detecting in the middle of a field when it's 90 and humidity's at 70%. And as crazy big as this place is, and as much as it has to offer, I found that each time I've gone, I'm either by myself or my digging partner's there, but there's nobody else. So that's nice
Wow.
too. It's a definitely you know,
Escape.
yeah, yeah. I realized the other day I was there for I think like 4 hours and hadn't touched my phone once. I'm like, whoa. Like, I didn't get any
That's nice.
pictures. Yeah, except after I'm like, I didn't get any pictures of stuff.
Oh, no.
But
Oh, yeah. That's always hard. It's always hard to stop in the middle of what you're doing and take photos and video. For me, like today, I had left my GoPro, my water camera, in the car, and I had my phone in my backpack. I have a mesh backpack that I use for water hunting, and um, I have a Pelican water um, little water case or
mhm.
waterproof case that I put my phone and my keys in, and that thing sure is handy. So I just have it in my backpack, and so if I want to stop and video, like today, when I found the three rings, I each time I would have to pull over to the edge of the river, pull off my backpack, open it up, and then pull out my phone and video. So it can be a nuisance. Sometimes you just want to go and just hunt, but I try to keep, my videos going. Um, so, yeah, that was that was hard to do.
I do have to say I have the GoPro, and I have the chest mount for it, so it's like the brace that goes around and it goes basically kind of under my chin. Um, and I was filming with that on Saturday, and we were moving, and I think I'd gotten really hot, so I'd taken it off and stuck it in my bag, and we went to go to a different area, and I'm like, it actually would have been funny if I had kept it on, except now looking back, it would be funny, but I got stuck in the mud again. So I'm like, oh, I'm sure, people would have liked to have seen me digging myself out. Um, Only thing
Oh,
is,
yeah.
at that point in time, I had that sheer panic that I wasn't going to get out, and it's, midday and so hot, and it was so humid, and I was pouring sweat as I'm like shoveling my boots out so I could move my feet and get to a safer area. Like, oh, this is horrible. And yeah, you get the panic. I'm going, I can't walk back
Right.
because there's glass everywhere again. I said I didn't want to do this, and here it is. It's happening again.
Well, I think that, yeah, it's always cool when you can catch those crazy things that happen when you're out metal detecting. If you can catch it on camera, like with your, when you get stuck. I remember once getting stuck and I had to use this huge branch to pull myself out, and then I had to pull myself out of my water boots and then get over to the edge and then reach across and pull my boots out. So it's those kind of things that you wish sometimes you would have caught it on camera, but it's just almost impossible to catch some of those moments.
Yeah.
The other day I was out detecting with Dennis, and I was detecting this old rock corral, and I think I told you about this already, but I don't know if our listeners have heard this, but I was detecting this old rock corral that was, the rock wall was built like in the 1800s, and there is supposedly an old cache out there. And we've done our research, and we think we've got it pretty located where it might be. And I actually got my divining rods out and located an area where it very well might possibly be. So, dowsing rods. Anyway, so go ahead.
I was going to say, what type of rods are you using?
So I have some copper dowsing rods that I have used on occasion. They can be quite accurate if you're looking for things like large caches or things of that nature, trying to locate, you can locate water lines, stuff like that.
Very nice.
All
right, I threw you off topic.
This area, no, that's fine. Anyway, we located this area, and trying to get up in there, I couldn't walk just straight where I wanted to go with the dowsing rods, so I put them away, and I grabbed my detector because I knew I was in the right area, and we're kind of trying to go. I was trying to go along the rock wall, and a lot of caches sometimes are hidden in old rock walls and stuff because they use the rocks to stack around to hide it. Good hiding places, easy access sometimes. So I've got my coil, and I'm, going along the outside of the wall and then moving up to the right, up the wall, and then back down, up, and then back down. And anyway, I wish I would have had my camera on because, or my chest mount, like the one that you were talking about with your GoPro, because sure enough, a snake, a rattlesnake, decided to pop his head out and strike at my coil. So I did the little yelp. I mean, if Mike would have been there, there would have been, I'm sure, a real loud girly scream, and he would have ran off. But for me, I did yelp, and it was not, that I was scared of the snake. It was that sudden surprise when it reaches out and just strikes at your coil. And I went, like, I can't even do it again. But this little yelp, squeal, and backed off and just kept on detecting. Just kept on. I went around. But then I got to thinking, I turned around to look for Dennis, and apparently he was overheating because we were detecting out in 100 and something plus degree weather, and he was overheating again, and he started walking back to the truck, and so I took that as an omen. We'd already been there about 5 hours in this heat, And so I was like, okay, it's enough. We'll find that. We'll go back. We think we got it narrowed down to where this cache may be. And I took that as an omen. That wasn't the day to find that cache. I think I was getting too close. That rattlesnake was a warning. Anyway, yeah, those kind of moments you wish
You'd
you would
captured.
have, yeah.
So you've been getting out now more with the Apex. So I know that there was an article in the Dirt Digest magazine, but now that that's come out and when it was written, I know that things have changed a little. So how many hours do you think you've spent using the Apex now?
But see, when the article came out, I was looking at around 100 hours. Now it's probably closer to 175 hours or so on the Apex. Right now, I currently, it is back at Garrett, and it is getting an update. It is getting basically a program that is uploaded, or I don't know how they do it, uploaded into the Apex to where if there is ever any updates that need to be done on the Apex, all we'll have to do is they can, email it to you or whatever, and all you'll have to do is go and download it, or I guess go to their website and download the upgrade right into the Apex. So really excited about that.
So you just hook your machine up to your computer and it will update it?
Yeah, basically it's got a little, what do you call it?
USB?
My brain is not, USB port on there that you'll be able to just plug in to your laptop or computer and just download through there right directly into the Apex.
That's awesome. Very cool.
So that's a really nice little thing that they've got going on with the Apex.
So I know you haven't gotten to the beach yet with it, like saltwater, but where else have you detected with it? Like what type of areas?
Okay, so what I've done recently, I've been going to a lot of the areas that I've detected before with other detectors. Some of them even that I've detected over the years and years. I've got another video that I'll be putting out soon. It's a place that I go to in over in East Texas, where back in the day you could go over these spots and the mineralization in the ground is it's so mineralized. It's a lot of red dirt. It is full of iron ore and a lot of hot rocks. So there was a lot of the older machines that would have a lot of trouble on this type of soil. So what I did is I went back over some of these old areas that I've hunted before with many different machines, and I was very impressed. A lot of the areas where I'm hunting is not only the hot soil, but I'm hunting in a lot of iron-infested areas where old homesteads were. One of them I call Iron Hill, and I can't even tell you how much iron is out there. And I was able to pluck out between all that iron and pull out some really nice little relics. So that'll be in an upcoming video. And I talk about in that video some of the areas that I'm hunting and the settings that I'm using. But I guess my greatest my favorite feature on the Apex so far is actually the iron audio, being able to adjust that iron audio because most people know that I detect in zero discrimination. I don't use any discrimination. I like to hear it all. But being able to turn that iron volume down in those high iron infested areas has just been something that I'm really loving about that Apex, and being able to pluck out a few little goodies amongst those type areas.
I saw you finding really, really small items with it too, with an actually pretty good sized coil on it.
Yeah, I'm really liking the new coil size as well. Um, at first, I didn't know what to think. You know, sometimes when you try new things, it's
Yeah.
kind of always it. Sometimes change is good, and sometimes you're like a little hesitant. But I was really impressed with that coil because I had actually got to go to an old ghost town over in Louisiana a few weeks ago, and this area is another area that's just iron infested. What happened was is the Yankees burned down the town, um, and that's why the town is a ghost town. And we were able to hunt. The fields were planted with soy, and we were allowed to hunt the fields, but we had to hunt in between the soy, the soy. So it was very tight, and I was really loving that coil because I could still cover a large area because of the 11 inches in length for a double D coil, but yet still that smaller end I could get in between a lot of those. So it was really neat. I ended up finding my very first little watch winding key, and that thing was real tiny. And I was really impressed the way I found it amongst a ton of iron in that area, in that field, that soy field. So that was impressive to me.
That's awesome. Now, how do you go about ordering it? I think you might have said. So they're taking pre-orders or?
Yeah, there's a lot of places that are taking pre-orders. We are now taking pre-orders at the Digger's Den. You can go to dddetectors.com. If you decide to order online, you can use my code Gypsy, all caps, and get you a little bit of discount break on that as well. So, hopefully those will be shipping out to the distributors at the end of the month, if all goes planned. And then by the beginning of August, they should be available for the customers. So
Nice. Very cool.
that'll be exciting.
Awesome. So who else is, yeah, I think there's like quite a few people, but any other diggers that we might know that are also testing it out?
Yes, let me think. So there is Bo. I think he's put out one video. Most people know him. Bo Aquachair. He is testing the Apex. And then we have, let's see, who else is testing? We have Kurt from the Hoover Boys, and I think one of the other Hoover Boys may be testing it as well. It may be Bill. I'm not 100% sure on that. And then we have, let's see, Green Mountain Metal Detecting. You know his name.
Brad?
His name is
Yeah.
Brad.
Nice.
Brad, I think they sent him a machine to test out up there in Vermont, in New Hampshire area. I think he's in Vermont, isn't he?
He is. Yep. Yep. Green Mountains.
Okay. And let's see. I heard that they recently sent one to Jay from, let's see, um, Duck Dynasty.
Oh, nice.
He has, yeah, recently, I think he's fairly new to the hobby. He has a friend that I met, Murray. I think he's a old family friend, and he's been metal detecting for many, many years. Um, we all got to detect together at that old ghost town I was telling you about. And it was Jason, Murray, and then myself and another friend, Bob. And I think, anyway, from what I understand, they went back this last week, and with the Apex, he got his first silver with the Apex, and he got a half dime, silver half dime. So that was really, really sweet. And let's see who else is testing.
Has Dawn
Sorry, my brain's not working in it.
has Dawn gotten hers yet?
I don't think she has gotten hers yet.
Hmm.
I think they might have been waiting to put that salt mode and get that update with the software on there before they send it overseas. But I think she should be getting hers anytime.
That makes sense.
I know she's been really looking forward to it. She's been so excited. She can't wait to test it out. Let's see who else. We have Nugget Noggin, Michael Bennett, who's testing it, and King George, George, and Ringy, Tim,
Yep.
are testing it as well. And from what I understand, Steve Moore and I think Tim are testing it out on the beach. They were this last weekend. So I haven't heard anything. They still could be there in Florida. So I hope that's working out well for them. And hopefully, I am leaving Saturday, heading to Florida if nothing cancels with the coronavirus. I'm not looking forward to the flight because I'm going to be having to wear a mask the whole time, and it's just not going to be fun. But other than that, I'm looking forward to some beach time when I get there. I'll be social distancing in the water, and also hopefully in the mornings and late in the evenings, I'll be hitting some low tides and minus tides to test out the Apex on the beach.
Awesome. Well, hopefully everything goes smoothly so you can definitely, fingers crossed, get it tested out there and enjoy a time away.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. My feet in the sand, and I am going to be bringing my Garrett Sea Hunter Mark II as well, with the larger coil, and I'm going to be doing a lot of water hunting because that's where it'll be nice and cool during the day. So I'm looking forward to that.
George wants to know, how do you social distance from a barracuda?
Oh,
Is that a joke or?
it must be a joke. I want to know. But yeah, there's. Have you ever water detected in the surf on a beach or anything?
I have. The beaches that I've gone to, I noticed, well, back before everything, they were very territorial. So some of the areas I'd go to go detect, um, there was, I know, John and I were both detecting the beach and the surf and going, and this lady just kept coming over and like she had one of the large coils on and swinging it like so it would interfere with ours.
Oh my,
So we got
that
the
was
point.
mean.
Well, we got the point. Like, that they probably had a summer home or something right there, and it became pretty apparent. We'd gone a couple times and it was the same person there, so we're like, all right, like that's must be their area. So, um, I tend to stay away from the beaches. A lot of our
Yeah.
beaches too, they use those rakes, the sand rakes. So if you're not there,
Oh yeah.
they've, you know, they've cleared it up. And I do know that we're having a big problem right now with glass bottles on the beaches, and then those rakes hit it and they shatter the bottles everywhere. So then there's glass all in the sand. So as much as I used to have fun and I'd go and the thought of having glass impale my foot and yeah, I'm good.
Right.
So more or less just looking forward to like cooler weather. I can't wait for the fall. Have a couple large permissions that as soon as hunting season is done, um, a new areas permissions that might have been knock on wood, they've been untouched. So pretty excited for that. Pretty
That's really
excited.
exciting.
Yes, yeah. So, besides that,
You've been,
yeah,
were you doing some research? Is that how you found these, or
word of mouth.
how'd you come across
Chatting with
word of mouth?
friends. Yeah, chatting with friends that, oh, this. And then John talks to people he works with. And once he'll talk to them about how crazy I am. And I'm constantly, I was last summer, I just used one of those, I think they're called the coolies, the rags that you can wet and they evaporate and keep you cool. Um,
Oh yeah.
so it was basically out even when it was super hot. I'd basically try to go in the early morning, like at dawn, to about 10 or 11, and then take midday off, and then go back out in the afternoons. But a lot of my permissions right now are still, I've talked to the property owners. We're just, yeah, I'm just staying away. So maybe this fall. And then I have a couple other property owners that, they know that I can't dig certain places. So they're like, oh, you can come dig here. But again, with the heat and humidity, and I know we hadn't gotten rain for like a week and a half, and I just don't want to dig people's property and leave giant dying plugs. So I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
wait.
Oh boy. Uh, yeah. I'm counting the days. Um, but yeah, today hunting in the river and finding those 3 rings, it just made me ready for the beach even more. Um, I miss surf hunting. I miss living near the beach. Um, Even though I really love the relics. I would rather find something old than something new. But you just can't beat the beaches and the water hunting, in the summertime when it's just hot.
Yep.
So,
I think that's why I've been sticking with the mudlarking and I mean, it helps that the bottle dump is right next to the ocean. So I get that sea breeze. The one bad thing is there's also sand fleas. So they're annoying as all get out. But yeah.
I don't think I've ever had those.
Sand
How's
fleas?
that? Yeah.
They're like midges, but they jump and they bite and they stink. Because
Oh.
you can move like dried seaweed and they're everywhere
Uh-huh.
and they bite. They are biting. They're like fleas, but they call them sand fleas. I don't know why. Or
Yuck.
knock on wood, each time I've come home, they haven't come to my house with me, so I haven't had like flea problem or anything like that. But it's definitely while you're there, they are annoying and they do bite. And That's not fun.
No. But at least you've got this great area, though, right now. Now, is it on the bay? Because you said that this area, this dump that you found, it's the tide is coming in and out. Is it like a river or a creek that flows into the bay? How is this working?
No, it is. It's like a harbor. So you have the low tide and the high tide, but it is like you said, a bay harbor area that,
Uh-huh.
um, yeah, that basically curves around, and they used, like what Brandon said when he was on, water was a natural stop to when they used to burn them, so they didn't have to worry about the fires spreading on these dumps. So yeah, it's basically right on the ocean, and there's no real river. I think there's one area that there is still a trickle from high tide that comes down, and perhaps I don't know if it's a stream or fresh water, but it does come down into like the mud flats that run to the bay.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's pretty nice.
So, so what's your favorite find or finds that you've found in this dump so far? I know you found some guns, and you've been doing those in electrolysis. How are those coming along?
Well, I killed my electrolysis machine.
Oh, no.
I realized after the fact that the size of the alligator clips I had on it were more for
Uh-huh.
something that was smaller, like coins or
Uh-huh.
spoons or things like that. And they didn't withstand being in the electrolysis machine for hours. So instead
Gotcha.
of cleaning up the gun, they disintegrated.
Gotcha.
So I
Um,
need to get to
y-
the hardware store.
so one thing you can do, I don't know, you probably already know this, but um, I have done it like that, like in my video that I put out, where you take the alligator clips and they're in the water, partially in the water, holding whatever, but you can wrap copper wire around that gun or whatever your object is, and then wrap it around a stick on the top, and just do your clip to that um, wire,
Hmm,
and that way it won't eat away your clip.
that's awesome. No, so I do need to get to a hardware store either way. I don't have any copper wire either.
Yeah.
But they are
I ordered
coming.
mine on Amazon last time,
Nice.
so
Yeah. I'm gonna end up having to do that. I do know that yeah, I need to get to the hardware store, and I've been doing both of the guns. So basically what I was doing is letting one sit for between half an hour to an hour, and then when I'd swap them and give them a good scrubbing,
mhm,
and it hooked the other one up into the machine. So there was really no break for the machine, but there was a break for the gun, so I could see how that they were coming out, and they were both cleaning up really nice until I pulled it again, and I'm like, I realized I'd already taken them apart, and so basically twice I had to put new alligator clips on until I ran out of
oh
them,
wow,
and I was like, okay.
oh
So
boy. Any design showing up or anything like that
yeah, there's a flower
on the gun?
design showing up on the smaller of the two. So it looks like where the
Oh,
where the handle pin is actually would have been the center of a flower, and it curls up
oh,
the gun, which I actually haven't seen, but in my mind I think maybe a cap gun, but I'm not sure. I'm really not sure.
eh,
The one that's got the square empty
mhm,
handle that everyone said is
yeah.
definitely a real gun. It's starting to show a mark on the side that actually might have the manufacturer. But again,
Ooh.
it the machine died right as it was getting close to the lake. I'm like, there's one section over it that I'm like, oh, come on.
Oh wow. Uh, so are those the only two items you've been doing electrolysis on, or
Yes.
what other items are you finding? You found several bottles. Anything of interest, or?
Um, I mean, they're all interesting. I don't
Right.
know. I did find an Italian martini. Um, that
Ooh.
is, I think, 18.99. It's got a pretty good size kick up on it. And I found that skeleton key, which I, for the first time ever, and have found multiples now, but I've never cleaned them. I cleaned this one, and it looks so neat. So I'm pretty excited by that. Um, and then, I just get really excited about anything round. So like the marbles and just the beads and the random copper item that you might be able to clean and see like an image on it. I have one right now
Right.
that might be an automobile tag of some sort. I think it says
Ooh.
Gabrielle something comfort, and it's got a big triangle in the center, and yeah, it looks really neat. So I like grabbing anything like that that I can clean up and try to get a name or a date off of. But
That's cool.
yeah, yep. Looking forward to getting back over there. Tide doesn't really work out for the rest of the week, so maybe next weekend. But yeah, that's about it.
Well, good luck. I can't wait to
Thanks.
see what else you pull out of there. So, your favorite find that you found out of there so far, has it been the clay pipe and the Spanish Real?
That's a different place. So I have actually three.
Oh,
So the gun place is one place, the Spanish Real is another, and then the skeleton key and a lot of these marbles. That's it. So I have three places I've been actually. Um,
wow, lady. You
yeah,
lucky dog.
and
Oh, man.
technically there's four places I go. Two are title and two are not. So thankfully,
Oh, okay.
if I'm off tide, I can go to the other two. So
Wow.
yeah, so it's
Cool.
good. Well, I hope you have an amazing trip.
Thank
I,
you.
I
Thank
can't
you. I'm
wait
looking
to see
forward to it.
pictures and yeah, you gotta show that tungsten ring that you found because there are a lot of real diamonds set in tungsten. So
Yeah, I'm hoping these turn out to be real. I'll just do the bet. In fact, I've got it. I think my diamond tests are right over here
ooh,
on the nightstand, so I may have to test that in a little bit, and I'll definitely post something if it is.
awesome.
And what else? One other thing, before I forget it, I've at the where we were at the corral. I was telling about the snake jumping out earlier. Um, Across the way from the corral, I think you saw the post. I think I sent you a photo, and I posted it online trying to find out. I still have not been able to get a positive ID on the little brass thing that I found that has the eagle on top.
Hmm.
And it has the initials.
Like
I
the
think it's
C.
MLR.
Okay, so it's MLR, not CRR.
No, it's
MLR.
MLR, and it's got an eagle on top, and it's made of brass, and the round part below the eagle is about $half size. And a lot of people have guessed and thinks it's somehow related to a railroad, but I've looked up all the different railroads and still know nothing that I could find. Um, Also, the eagle on it is very military and makes me think, it's military related. And the other guess that I've had a lot of people think that it could be, and it could be, maybe why it's been so hard to identify. Some people think that it could be off an old tombstone. Possibly those were the initials of maybe someone that served in the service. So I don't know. I'm just going to keep trying to research. Hopefully I'll be able to get a positive ID on it. But if anybody wants to take a look at a photo of it, they can hop on over to my Facebook group, Zero Discrimination, and join the group. And I've got a photo of it in there as well.
Do you have any of those groups around there? So I found a weird eagle, semi-large type of item as well, and it had two hands holding, but it had the big eagle in the center that was like kind of like what yours is, but it was and no real letters or anything like that on it, not like MLR, but it was the Odd Fellows group.
Oh, interesting.
I'm wondering if do you have anything in that area that might be something along those lines? Because it could be that type of a thing. Because the eagle was also part of their logo, or they had the hands holding hands, and I can't think of all the other.
Interesting.
Something else to look at.
Yeah, I've typed those initials in and Googled it and searched, and it's just nothing coming up. I also found a lot of, now if it was made of something else, but it is brass, I found a lot of things saying that it that looked similar, and the size of it is a badge. Like there was a lot of the old badges for like different things, like security badges and other types of badges that had eagles on top of them, which was interesting. But still nothing like that one. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, well, that's definitely a puzzle we can try to help solve.
Yeah, I appreciate all the help I can get. I guess we are running out of time. We got off to a late start, but we sure appreciate everyone that has jumped in here and joined in chat and that have listened this evening. I know Bill just popped in. He said he missed the whole thing. Sorry, Bill. We have a few all metal mode stickers, and I also have some of the new holographic type shiny Zero Discrimination YouTube stickers. So if anybody wants some, we will drop our emails in here and let us know if you would like a sticker, and we can get that to you. Just specify which one or both or whatever you'd like. And I think Amanda has some stickers as well. Don't you have some Give the Guys stickers left? Or?
I do, and the hologram all metal mode.
Okay, awesome. So if y'all want any stickers, my email, I'll type it in here, but it's Michelle with one L, Michelle Gypsy Woods at gmail.com, and Digger, is it digger.degaz?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Digger.degaz at gmail.com. So y'all be sure and pop us a message, and we would be happy to send you some stickers.
Right. Well, I hope you have a fantastic trip. And
thank you.
I am sure we will chat at some point.
I'm sure we will. Thank you all for listening, and you all have a wonderful night.
All right. Good night,
Good night, all.